3 days, 3 different kinds of wins for the Tribe. A late rally versus the A's led to a 15-run explosion Friday night against the Royals. And last night, as Drupal Cabrera sent the fans home happy for the 3rd straight night. Today, the Indians look to make it 4 in a row next on Channel 3. It's a gorgeous sunny Sunday afternoon here in downtown Cleveland as the Tribe wraps up this 3-game weekend series against the Royals, and the Indians are going for the sweep. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Isn't that nice to say? Because we haven't had a chance to even say that for so long. It seemed like the Indians would not only lose the first game, but the first 2 games of a lot of the series over the last several weeks. But, Rick, what's been the difference here in coming into today's game?
Well, you're looking at the long ball. That has been their friend. Matt Laporta the other night against the Oakland A's hits a 2-run homer. They go on to win that ball game, and they continued from that point. It was a little spark in the offense, and then they come back Friday night, and they hit 3 3-run bombs. And, I mean, they had a barrage, 10 extra base hits in that ball game, and the offense had a great night. Last night, Cabrera hits a walk-off home run. Desperately needed in the 10th inning. It was a good ball game, 3-3. Another extra inning win, another 1-run win for the Tribe, and you can see 5 home runs in the last 3 games, 2 1-run wins, and the bullpen has continued to do a very good job for Manny Acton.
And while the starters haven't necessarily gone deep into games, they're pitching much better, and that certainly gives you a better chance to win. And that's what they're looking for today from Fausto Carmona, who has had a very rough month of August.
Well, Fausto is starting to try and power his way through. He's not pitching like he once was earlier in the year, where he's ahead in the count, getting hitters to chase his pitch. Hopefully he can come back, get ahead of the Kansas City hitters. Now, the Kansas City Ball Club is a team that can get a lot of base hits. Fausto's going to have to pitch from in front, get him to swing at his pitch, and we'll see. He desperately needs a win. He's lost his last 4 starts. He's 1-4 in the month of August. He'll be facing a guy, Bruce Chen, who is 2-0 against the Indians this year with an ERA of over 7 and a guy that likes to nibble. So they'll have to remain patient offensively to try and get to Chen today.
It's the crafty Chen against the powerful Carmona. The matchup here this afternoon, and we've got it all for you next on Channel 3. Although it's going to be a little on the warm side for Fausto Carmona and company as they take the field. Temperature will be near 90 degrees at game time as the Indians try to complete the sweep against the Kansas City Royals. Let's have a look at the KC starting 9 for Ned Yost's team. Gregor Blanco, left-handed bat, will lead it off, and it's Mike Aviles, the second baseman. Kila Kaiahue is at first base, batting third. Then Billy Butler back in the lineup. He's been sidelined with a hand issue. He'll DH and hit cleanup. Then it's Wilson Bedemet, big slugger, at third base hitting fifth. Alex Gordon in left. Brian Pena, the catcher. Mitch Meyer is in right. And Yunieski Betancourt will bat ninth.
Fausto Carmona brought to you by the Indians Team Shop, where they get 2 tickets when you spend $50. It's Fausto Carmona making his 27th start, in dire need of a win right here. Fausto 11-12. He's lost his last 4 starts, including the one he started with the Royals and matched up with Bruce Chen back on August 18th. He went 5 innings in that game, gave up 9 hits, 7 runs. He did walk a batter, but did not strike anybody out. So he's going to have to turn it around. He's got a new look today. 1 sock up, 1 sock down, showing the blues. Let's check out the defense behind Carmona today. It looks like this. In the outfield, left to right, will be Duncan, Crow, and Chu. On the infield, Marte gets a start at third. Cabrera is at short. Valbuena in there at second base. Laporta is at first. Chris Gimenez back in behind the plate.
Darryl Cousins, the crew chief, behind the plate. Mike Estabrook at first. Jim Wolf second. And Jim Joyce is down at third. There's the unusual fashion look for Fausto Carmona.
You know what? He doesn't have the elastic in that one leg, and it won't stay up there, I don't think.
Gregor Blanco has done a nice job in the leadoff role for Kansas City. Takes a strike. He's gone 5 for 9 with a double in the series.
Well, 4 hits on Friday night. They could not get him out.
Chokes up on that bat, takes a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2. A little bit low, wouldn't chase after it. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Blanco. Well, Luis Valbuena's got his look tight. Now the 1-2 pitch. Little tapper foul. Indians come in 53-76 on the year. Royals a game in front in the division, 54-75. Swung on and missed. Carmona strikes him out to start the game.
Well, you can see Blanco shaking his head, but that's what happens when Carmona gets ahead of hitters. They chase that good sinker out of the zone, a changeup. And you could see the deep grip of the baseball, the changeup he gets out in front of and chases it. And for Carmona gets strikeout number 1.
Mike Aviles has not played thus far in the series. In his last game that he played on Wednesday, he had 6 at-bats and went 1 for 6.
Well, it's funny because Getz was the second baseman here the first 2 nights. And you figure against the tough right-hander like Carmona, you would put a lefty in there, but Aviles gets the start today.
And isn't that the way it goes when you're the part-time player? You seem to get your opportunities against the nasty
tougher pitches.
ones.
Yeah.
There's a ground ball. Routine play for Cabrera at short. On the move. Guns him down. 2 down. That'll bring up Keelet Kaiahue. Big left-handed hitting first baseman for Kansas City. But thus far, has not really panned out for the Royals. Not that he still couldn't blossom into the power hitting prospect that they envision, but you just have to wonder when it will click for Kaiahue and when he'll turn that corner.
Well, they have nothing to lose. They have to find out what they have.
As we talked about, Rick, the numbers he's put up at AAA, I mean, it's not like he has to go back and show you. He's done it all there. It's just a matter of making that next big step.
They had him up before. It was, I don't know if it was last year or the year before to give him an opportunity, and it was never a prolonged opportunity, but you have to see what you have when you have Butler, who is basically a DH, but he does play first.
3 balls and no strikes. And Carmona fires a strike over the outside part of the plate. Fausto winds, fires, strike 2 called, full count. Carmona looking for a 1-2-3 first inning. And the payoff pitch is swung on and missed. Fausto strikes out a pair, and the Royals go 1-2-3. Indians coming to bat when we come back. Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive is proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Trevor Crow and his Drupal Cabrera, followed by Shin-Soo Choo. How about Cabrera with his first career walk-off homer last night? Then you've got Duncan, Nix, and Laporta, Marte, Jimenez, and Valbuena.
Bruce Chen making the start for the Royals. He is making his 17th start of the year, 33-year-older. 2-0 against the Indians this year, but an ERA of over 7. In his last start, gave up 11 hits in 5 2/3 innings against the Tribe, but did get the win. Guy you have to be patient with. He walked season-high 5 guys in his last start against Detroit. This is what you call a nibbler. Doesn't like to throw many strikes.
Popped in the air, right field. Mitch Meyer, 1 down. Here's our great clip of the game, brought to you by our friends at Great Clips. Last night is Drupal Cabrera with a little bat flip for some theatrics at the end. First career walk-off home run. Relax, you're at Great Clips. And as Drupal looks at a ball just a bit high. One ball, one strike. Trying to bunt his way aboard. Bunts it hard to third base. And did he let it go foul?
No.
That was really bizarre.
You know what?
Grabbed it. I thought he was going to let it go, and then he fielded the ball, and so it's a base hit for Cabrera.
Yeah, that was a mistake right there. You either let it go or you field it, one or the other. He got caught in between. See, right there he wanted to not. I'm not so sure it would have went foul, but you got to at least let it try to go foul. If it hits the cut of that grass, of course, he was DHing the first 2 games, playing third base tonight for the first time. That's going to be a single.
Yeah.
Caught in between right there.
Shin-Soo Choo with 1 on, 1 out. Takes a strike over the outside corner. You can see Bedimit exchanging some words with Yuniesky Betancourt, the shortstop, on that play. Probably talking about what he should have done as Choo drops it into second base, but they're going to get a force. Dropped it into center field, but they get the force at second base because Cabrera had to hold up. That 2 bizarre plays to start the game for the Tribe here.
Well, as a base runner, when you see Blanco coming in, you don't know if he's going to get it. It was a short hop, so you can't really commit to go to second base. So you throw him on. It's going to be a fielder's choice, 8-4. As a base runner, look, he was over halfway there, but the short hop, you thought he was going to catch it. You can't do anything there as a base runner.
Now, granted, I'm a lot farther away from the play than Asdrubal Cabrera, but I thought he was going to catch it.
So did I.
I was surprised when he didn't, so I can understand
he went
why
over
Cabrera.
halfway, and that's all you can do. Any farther, if he catches the ball, he throws him out at first base anyway, and it's a double play. So it was just one of those tweener plays.
Shelley Duncan with a towering fly ball to right field, and just like that, a potential rally fizzles for the Indians. No score after 1.
By Subway, play hard, eat fresh. By Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers.
Billy Butler will lead off inning number 2 for KC, and he takes a strike. Swung on and missed. There's that good fastball with a lot of movement. Not down, but it was running in off the plate. And once Butler committed to it, you can't stop.
He's throwing about 92, 93 today in the first 2 innings, which is usually when he has his good movement. Last start, he was throwing some pitches up there about 95, 94, 95, and it seemed like everything was up and it was flat. He wasn't on top of the ball where it was going down.
Now, I know you weren't a pitcher in your career, but I'm just curious, when you say that, do you think he consciously sometimes throws too hard?
Well, what happens, I think, to Fausto, we saw it last year, is he opens that front shoulder up and everything, it stays up in the zone and it's up and away to lefties and up and into right-handers from overthrowing instead of relaxing and just staying on top of the ball and trying to get on that downward plane. He was so good at it for so long this year. And, you get a little bit out of control and you need to fix your mechanics a little bit. I liked in his last start, though. When he came against Oakland, he fell behind. Who was it? Jack Cust, 3-0, and he came back and he threw 3 straight changeups, which seemed to slow him down a little bit, and he ended up getting the strikeout and getting the out. And how many times have you seen Carmona double or even triple up on a changeup?
Can't say too many times. Well, the other thing, too, about sinker ball pitchers that is a familiar theme is that when they're tired, they get more movement. So more velocity is usually a bad thing for a sinker ball pitcher. 3-2, hit on the ground hard to third. Marte takes the big hop, pulls Laporta off, but he applies the tag for out number 1. Time now for our achievement of the game, brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in us all. And Frank White, one of the all-time greats of the game. A long-time fixture in Kansas City, even after his long-time playing career ended.
Well, he managed in the minor leagues. He was down there as in uniform, but a terrific person. Does a nice job now for the Royals on television.
Kind of interesting. Do you notice Frank's got the seat, the higher seat. Ryan Lefevre, he's got the normal seat. Frank's up high. He's got the perch.
No, it's just Ryan's a midget, and Frank's really tall.
Frank's actually 7 feet tall, the tallest second baseman in the history of the game.
Sometimes when you sit and watch some of these games, you like to be up where you can see the whole field, and obviously he does.
Strike over the outside corner to Wilson Betterman.
It gives him better range. He had some range out at second base with the best of them.
Now the 1-2 pitch to Betterman. That had to be frustrating for many a player to go into Kansas City and probably hit some balls hard and not get any hits because there were no holes in that infield.
Well, especially on the turf. I mean, because he could play up the middle and still range far to his left and make great plays.
In the air, down the line, slicing into the seats.
They were a tough team to play against because they were built for that turf. I mean, they had speed. They played it well. Their first and third baseman were on the lines to take away the doubles. And their second baseman and shortstop had great range and made a lot of good plays, and they had terrific outfielders.
And like the Orioles maybe earlier, I always think of the Royals as a fundamentally sound organization back in those days. 2 down as Bedevit grounds out, and that'll bring up Alex Gordon. You hear things from baseball's past about the Oriole way and the way they develop their players through their system. And the Royals, I believe, are one of the first teams to have the academy.
They did. They were the only team.
To institute their way of thinking and their way of executing certain plays. And
Frank White was the first guy to come through that academy and make it to the big leagues for the Royals. I think it started back in '70, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they were clearly the benchmark. They took over after Oakland dominated, the Western Division. The Royals then took over and dominated for quite some time.
Swing and a miss by Alex Gordon. He's 3 for 8 in the series. And off the plate that time. Off the end of the bat, that's going to drop for a base hit. And the Royals have their first knock against Carmona here today with 2 outs in the second inning.
Nothing you could do here. Off the end of the bat, and he flares it into left field. Maybe just a little too much of that plate. It's an off-speed pitch, a changeup. But Gordon stayed on it enough to get the base knock. Well, and he's had very good numbers against Carmona.
Brian Pena looks at ball one. Just his 14th start of the season.
Yeah, you don't get much playing time when Kendall is the everyday catcher. I was curious to see if they'd give Jason the day off today.
"20 pitches so far here in the second for Carmona, even though this is just the fourth hitter he's faced. Royals trying to take that patient approach. Two balls and a strike. Chris Jimenez will get a new baseball. Yeah, you talk about Jason Kendall. Guy's caught over 2,000 games in his career. The days off are very rare.
Wow. Well, over 130 games for eight straight years? That's a very demanding position. He just continues to roll.
In his 15th season. 3 balls and a strike. And I don't know if this is Carmona nibbling as much as it is not being able to find the right command here in the second inning.
First time he's been out of the stretch.
And the 3-1 is ball 4. So he retired the first 2, but then a hit and a walk. And it brings up Mitch Meyer, the number 8 hitter, as Chris Jimenez goes to the mound for a chat. This Friday at 7, Channel 3 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame present Cleveland Rocks. It's an hour-long special with exclusive interviews, rare footage, and the story of why Cleveland is the rock and roll capital of the world. Cleveland Rocks, Friday night at 7, here on Channel 3. 2 on, 2 out now for Mitch Meyer. There's a strike. Swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 the count. So Carmona trying to get himself out of this jam after he had the first 2 out in the inning. And Gordon got the base hit. He walked Pena. The 0-2 to Meyer. Ooh, that was very close.
Yes, it was. On the inside part, it almost looked like Darryl Cousins flinched. They want to go inside. It's a good 0-2 pitch. But it is in off the plate. But that's a very effective pitch right there. They're looking for that sinker away.
Grounded just foul, wide of first. You have to wonder how much sleep Mitch Meyer is getting these days. And one of the situations where road trips are welcome for him. He and his wife welcoming in their first child back on July 19th. First time fatherhood can change the sleep pattern a little bit.
Well, it hasn't hurt the guy on deck, Betancourt.
Big bouncer, just foul.
He went into a homer frenzy after his first child was born.
Well, remember he said, I think I'm going to have a kid every year.
Every year, exactly. Well, you keep hitting home runs as a shortstop, you'll make enough money to afford them.
Carmona taking a little extra time here. Now sets and deals. And it's popped up. Third baseman Andy Marte near the bag. Has it in foul ground and the inning is over. No runs, a hit. 2 men left aboard. Middle of the second, no score. Number 2. Sun-splashed afternoon here in downtown Cleveland. Jason Nix, Matt Laporta, Andy Marte for the Tribe. Not too many kids' fun days left on the calendar.
No, you're right.
Next time we come home, it'll be September.
What do we have? 2 left, I think. One with Minnesota in town, and then I think Detroit to end it up.
I think you're right, yeah. That sounds right. Chen offers a first pitch strike to Jason Nix, the Tribe DH. 10 home runs, 21 driven in. That while a member of the Tribe for Nix. All told, 11 home runs, 26 driven in on the season. Remember, Nix started with the White Sox. They let him go. And he's trying to make the most of an opportunity here with the Indians. 48 games with the Tribe. He's batted .270. Pitch outside, and I think if you look at Nix with the idea of a utility guy who can help you out at second base if you need him there, can play some third, I think he fits perfectly. If you're talking about an everyday third baseman, well, then I think you're still in evaluation mode.
Well, I think he's better at second than he is at third.
I
he's
would
a
agree.
natural second
Absolutely.
baseman. He looks much more comfortable in the middle of the field, and he'll be the first to tell you, hey, it's not easy to go from the middle of the field to a reactionary position where, I mean, that ball's on you in no time.
Yeah.
It's hard for anybody. We saw last night, Willie Bloomquist was playing over there for Kansas City. 2 balls he messed up, and he's not a natural third baseman, but you break back on balls, and that's a position that, boy, it takes a long time to learn the reads off the bat.
2-2 pitch. And Nix is out looking. 1 down. First strikeout for Bruce Chen today.
Let's check out that defense behind Bruce Chen this afternoon. It's Gordon, Blanco, Meyer in the outfield. Benjamin, Betancourt, Aviles, and Kaiahui. Look at those names on the infield with Pena behind the plate.
Matt Laporta takes a strike. Utility players definitely fill a much needed and important role on a ball club. And it's nice to have guys who have some versatility, who maybe in a pinch can move around on the diamond. But I always remember your old teammate Mike Hargrove, one of his favorite axioms was everyday players are everyday players for a reason. And that way, if you've got a shortstop and a third baseman and they play there every day, they make the plays because they're there every day, day in, day out. And as you said, it's not easy to go from second base, say, to all of a sudden now you're at the hot corner.
Right.
Maybe occasionally.
Right.
But now if you're asking a guy, hey, we need you to play there for a month, well, all the deficiencies are going to start showing up now.
And it happens at any position, too. You might be able to get by for a couple of games. And that's what a utility player does. I mean, you get a couple of at-bats. Actually, utility players are used more in the National League because they have more opportunities to play. You don't pinch hit as much in the American League with the DH as you do in the National League, and they're going to get more playing time. Pinch hit for the pitchers, you get double switches. So to stay sharp as a guy in this league, you got to work hard.
A couple of strikeouts for Bruce Chen here in the second, as Laporta goes down swinging for out number 2. Here's the AT&T trivia question for this afternoon. AT&T Rethink Possible. Major League record for most career at-bats with only 1 home run.
I don't know who that would be.
Is it somebody we know?
I don't think so.
No? Andy Marte takes a strike because most Tribe fans are going to jump on the obvious. I'm not going to blurt it out in case he might be the correct answer.
You can write it down. I'll see it.
Well, I think you know who I'm talking about.
Right. You think?
Andy Marte looks at the ball a little bit outside. Now the 2-1. And that's low. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1. Off the end of the bat. Center field, Blanco. Tribe goes 1, 2, 3. And after 2 innings of play, we are scoreless in Cleveland. Later in the game to see our Miller taste greatness moment. And it is exactly that, a moment. One singular moment. Uni Betancourt will lead off for Kansas City here in the 3rd. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Gregor Blanco and Mike Aviles. And as Rick mentioned, Betancourt and his wife welcomed their first child on August the 7th. And he went on a home run binge. Drives this ball to center field. Crow racing over, makes the grab, 1 away.
Send along happy birthday wishes. Beverly Hoveneck of Olmsted Township is turning 60 today. Beverly, happy birthday to you. And we got to send along our get well wishes to our boy, John Crepop Popper. Home today, but I guess he's doing fine. So, Popper, you can't stay hot. Let's go. He's been on a roll here.
Popper, your number today, by the way, is 5. In case you're wondering.
He is.
Now the 1-0. A little bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes for Gregor Blanco. Struck out his first time up today. Andy Marte was sensing a potential bunt. He was already starting to creep in at 3rd, and then as Blanco squared, he went into the charge. But that pitch, no chance of putting it in play, and now it's a 3-0 count. Finds the zone.
Well, that's all part of Blanco's game plan. You know, chokes up so much, he's a little slap hitter, and if you're going to lead off, bunting is going to be part of his game. So you'll always have to pinch in at the corners.
And he walked him. 1 out, base runner for Mike Aviles.
Well, the White Sox will be coming into town tomorrow night. It'll be a 3-game series, Wednesday being a day game, and you can check out the AM/PM all-you-can-eat seats. Get unlimited dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and Pepsi products for just $32 a ticket. Visit Indians.com or you can call 216-420-HITS.
Yeah, well, that will be an interesting series, to say the least. The Indians against the White Sox this year have gone 8-4, and Chicago is clinging to their playoff hopes. They're 4.5 games in back of Minnesota as the day begins, so they can ill afford any missteps.
You're right, with the 3 remaining against the Twins.
Yeah.
That's it. So they're just going to have to win every series and hope Minnesota loses a couple.
Double play ball to second. Valbuena gets one there. Cabrera's relay not in time. Ball took just a little too much time getting to Valbuena. That extra hop in between cost him a shot at turning 2. And give Aviles credit for hustling it out. You can see Valbuena, he had to wait back on that in-between hop. Otherwise, they might have had a chance to turn it, but he did everything he could. 2 down for Kaiahue, who struck out his first time up. The Royals' number 3 hitter. 1 for 8 in the series now.
Our last weekend series here in Cleveland will be against the Royals because they come back here for a 4-game series.
Oh, that's right.
And then we end up with Detroit on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Swing and a miss. I think it is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I remember thinking we have an off day late. Yeah.
Thursday's off?
Yeah. Right before we go to Chicago to finish the year. Aviles, the runner at first, has 6 steals on the year. The ball is popped up behind the plate. Jimenez might have a play here. And he squeezes it for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the third here at Progressive Field. Still no score. As the Indians and Royals are scoreless, heading to the bottom of the third. Chris Jimenez, Luis Valbuena, and Trevor Crow due up for the Tribe. Left-hander Bruce Chen has struck out a pair and has allowed one base hit through the first two frames. And a called strike for Jimenez. Rope foul left side. Jimenez, I thought it was interesting. Rick made the comment the other day that he's been working to try to make some adjustments so that now that he's not playing a lot, he can be more effective when he does get his opportunities to play. And that's that adjusting to your role where you go at AAA, you're playing every day, to now you're in the big leagues, you're not playing every day.
Well, and he had a good night on Friday. Hit the 3-run homer, had a double, had 4 ribbies, and when you have something positive happen, you can sit down for a little bit and go on that and build from that. But it's not easy to play, occasionally, once a week or something like that, because you really don't get to know the strike zone. And he doesn't know the pitchers in the game to begin with. It's all, he's facing a lot of these guys for the first time.
And the 1-2 swung on and missed. Chen has struck out 3 here today, and with 1 out in the third, that'll bring up Luis Valbuena. Our Subway Fresh Face of the game brought to you by Subway. Jared Head, 2 for 4, scored a couple, drove in 4, and he is tearing it up since the All-Star break. Subway, play hard, eat fresh.
Chen, 7 of 8 first pitch strikes so far today.
Shattered bat goes by first base. Kaihui deflects it to second, and Aviles returns it back to him for the out. Wow.
I don't even think Kaihui saw the bat.
And that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, the backhand, and Valbuena ends up picking up his own bat. Another weird play.
Have you ever seen a 3-4-3 put out before?
No. I mean, it went right to Aviles. That's the first time they swung at the first pitch. And look at where the barrel goes. He didn't know where it was. He was right there at first base, and it was an easy 3-4-3. So Valbuena cleans up his mess, picks up the barrel, and heads back. That's a strange play.
Trevor Crow flied to right in his first AB. Breaking ball, dips low. The 1-1. Crow with a slow bouncer. Kaihui kicks it again, and this time can't recover. In fact, he throws it away. And Trevor Crow will turn and go to second base.
That's got to be a double error. He booted it the first time and then compounds the problem by throwing it past Chen, who was covering. So that's got to be 2 errors.
That's the second time in this homestand we've seen that.
Friday night, it was over at third base.
Thursday. I was working.
Oh, okay.
It was
for Oakland series. I got you.
The old Tiger, Larish.
Yes, Larish. That's right. Did the exact same thing. Booted a ball and then made a compounded the play by throwing it away. There's a backhanded play. There's 1 error. The throw is 2 errors. They weren't going to get Crow anyway. He runs too hard. Chin was over there.
As Dribble Cabrera pops it foul back out of play. He had a bunt single his first time up. Hey, a reminder to fans, tune in today at 4:30 right here on Sports Time Ohio for a special Hall of Fame roundtable featuring Sudden Sam McDowell, Mike Hargrove, Sandy Alomar, and recently inducted into the Indians Hall of Fame, Kenny Lofton. That's today at 4:30 right here on Sports Time Ohio. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Bobby had an opportunity to do that that weekend when they were all together.
That's right. That's right. The host is Bob DiBiasio. Always some great stories.
Yeah, it really is, because it's different generations, of Cleveland Indians when you go back a ways. So it should be interesting to hear.
I remember Bobby saying that they talked about one of Sudden Sam's infamous games where he threw, I don't know, some ridiculous number of pitches, 170 maybe.
Oh, yeah, easy.
And the reactions of Sandy Alomar, Kenny, to that were priceless. The 0-2. Ground ball to second. Aviles fields it cleanly, and Kaihue puts it away to end the inning. We've played 3, no score. The score, 4th inning. Billy Butler leading it off for Kansas City and looks at a strike. He grounded out to third base his first time up.
First game Butler has started in this series. He did have a pinch hit appearance late last night in the 9th inning. He's had some hand problems.
His manager, Ned Yost, is hoping that some rest will get Butler rolling. He said he's hoping for a big September from Billy Butler, and that's a base hit into left field. He's 1 for 2 now today.
Well, you can see he stays on the baseball nicely, finds the hole between short and third.
He's got an interesting streak going that I'd never heard this one before.
That's his 93rd consecutive series where he has had a base hit.
93rd consecutive series.
That is correct. And I was going to say today he's at 92, but could be in jeopardy when you're only going to get maybe 4 at-bats in this game after he played last night. But there's the base hit, and it will continue.
Any idea historically relevance?
Well, they have some notes in I got to see who the leader is of all time. I think he passed Willie Mays Aikens. Willie Mays Aikens had 89 consecutive series from 81 to 1983 and trails Willie Wilson, who has the club record of 96 consecutive series. And the difference between those two, Wilson could run. He could get base hits like with a bunt or anything, where Billy Butler, he's got to do it legitimately because he's not going to get an infield single, or rarely will he. Other names of top 5, Amos Otis had 79, Carlos Beltran 71.
Now Carmona with another walk. He's had 1 in each of the last 3 innings. But the problem is this time there are no outs, and that's going to bring out not the pitching coach, but manager Manny Acta.
Well, he's got to talk to Carmona right now. That's exactly what he's doing. He's telling him to settle down. Things, start speeding up, and Carmona gets out there sometimes, and it looks like, just to me from here, he starts thinking. He's just got to be reassured. This month, he hasn't been pitching with the confidence we saw him pitch with earlier in the season. Now, whether it's lack of concentration or he's tired, I don't know. But as a ball player, when you're going out there, you have to make adjustments on your own to get back to being the player you can be. And I think that's what Manny was doing, going out there and explaining to him in Spanish, hey, look, let's go.
Alex Gordon base hit his first time up.
He's always one pitch away from the 2 outs.
Just foul. That was smoke down the first base line.
This guy here is a guy that's had a lot of success, over 500 against him in his career. So Fausto's got his work cut out for him, and it was close. Started out fair, lands foul.
Down and in. Ball and a strike to Gordon. Fouled out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. In that trip to the mound that Manny Acta took, it reminded me, and I think we talked about this before, but I found it very interesting. If you noticed, Carmona looked down at the ground almost the entire time that Acta was speaking to him. And while in the United States you would think that might be disrespectful because you're taught to look people in the eye, where Carmona is from, in the Dominican, in his culture, it's disrespectful to look an elder in the eye. If someone is older than you and is speaking to you, trying to teach you something or tell you something, you're taught to don't look them in the eye. You look down.
Almost listen, yeah. Well, we have talked about that before.
Now the 2-2. And the count goes full. And the pitches are piling up for Fausto. 65? Is that right? Already?
That's right.
Yep. And the payoff pitch. Ground ball, base hit into right field. Coming around third. Butler is going to get the hold sign. Chu kicked a little bit, and it was too late to get Butler restarted.
Yeah.
They wanted to try and send him, but once he put the brakes on, it's tough to get that big freight train rolling again.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We saw it the other night with Hafner running the bases where Smitty tried to get him going after Gordon slipped in left field. Big guys can't get it restarted again. And, with Chu out there, the ball was hit sharply. It gets past Valbuena, and, you're expecting Chu to field it cleanly. But when that ball jumps up on his glove, I'll tell you, if he would have restarted, it would have been close even if he sent him to begin with. But, you got to hold him there. So they have the bases loaded now and nobody out. Gordon 2 for 2.
Brian Pena walked in his first trip to the plate. Takes a first pitch strike. Missed up and in. And the count all even up at a ball and a strike.
This was the case Friday night. Kansas City leaving 16 runners aboard. They weren't able to take advantage of all the hits that they had.
There's a drive deep to center. Crow racing back. He's there. He'll make the catch. Royals will take the lead as Butler scores. Betterment tags at second and moves to third. 1-0 Kansas City. Runners at the corners. And 1 out now here in the 4th inning. Brian Pena with his 6th run batted in. Let's pause now for station identification. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning. Here at Progressive Field, there's a drive deep to center by Mitch Meyer. They'll get another run home. And Kansas City now leads it 2-0. Well, as Meyer gets his 35th RBI.
Kansas City leads the league in sacrifice flies, and there you see why. They do a good job. Both guys on third base. They use the big part of the field, back-to-back sacrifice flies.
Well, and Pena's sac fly set it up because he hit it so deep that it enabled that runner at second to tag and go to third. And so 2-0 Royals with 2 down, and Yuniesky Betancourt, the batter, with a runner at first. He drives it to center field. Crow makes the catch, and the inning is over. But it's now the Royals 2 and the Indians nothing. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, Shin-Soo Choo, Shelley Duncan, and Jason Nix for the try. Chris Jimenez talking to Carmona. Looks like you're talking about mechanics. And as you talked about before, that shoulder flying open, that front shoulder, now that tends to really affect the movement and velocity on his pitches.
Yeah, when you open it up, you lose that arm speed, and everything just takes off, and the ball moves a lot more than you want it to. And in turn, your control is a little bit out of whack.
Meanwhile, Bruce Chen has thrown 75% of his pitches for strikes today.
Yeah, here's a guy that had 5 walks season high last start, and he has tightened it up today.
11 out of 12 first pitch strikes. Whole different ball game when you're pitching ahead in the count.
Well, that's what all pitching coaches strive for. And you know, how many times do you think they say it's important, get out there and get strike one during the course of the year?
There's only one guy that I can immediately think of who is the exception to that rule, and that's Paul Byrd. Because, you know, he would throw so many strikes that he would give up a lot of 2-strike hits. Swung on and missed. And Chu is the 4th strikeout victim today of Bruce Chen. It's been kind of an odd day already here at the ballpark in terms of strange things. Betterman fielding that ball before it was going foul, and then you get the fielder's choice and the fly ball to center field. A 3-4-3 put out at first. A double error by Kayahue.
Yeah, it has been a little strange to this point.
It's not all that common that you see back-to-back sacrifice flies. Two balls, no strikes for Shelley Duncan, who flied out to right his first time up. And Shelley Duncan.
Well, Pena going to take a walk. He got hit with the backswing of Duncan on the elbow on the follow-through of that swing. He was out in front, and the follow-through comes back, and it gets Pena on the elbow. You can see him checking it out right now. Watch the follow-through. Ouch. Barrel of the bat right on that elbow.
Yeah.
That cannot feel good.
Duncan mired in an 0-for-15 slump. Chen delivers, and it's fouled away. Payoff pitch. And it's low, ball 4. Duncan draws the walk. Indians have a one-out base runner for Jason Nix. Let's go back to the studios right now for this in-game update with Dave Chudowski.
Hey, Matt, thanks a lot. Detroit and Toronto in the first inning. Miguel Cabrera continues to stay hot, goes the opposite way. That's an RBI double. That's his 107th RBI. He leads all of baseball. Right now it's 2-0 in the fourth.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. And Cabrera continues to just dominate. There's a fly ball dropping into right field, and a nice sliding catch made. No, he dropped the ball.
This is something else.
Mitch Meyer still gets the force out at second base. Unbelievable.
The ball was, I thought there was something down there. It was sitting right underneath him. Looked like he was going to catch it again as a base runner. You can't go. And then he has enough time to pick it up, throw it to second base. The second time the Indians have had a guy thrown out at second on a play. You see it goes off his glove, and Duncan thought he caught it.
He almost had it between his legs momentarily.
And then first base, Sandy said, no, go. That goes 9-6 on the fielder's choice.
Look, he almost squeezes it between his legs and it just squirts out. Oh, boy. Here's Matt Laporta, struck out his first time up.
This is going to be a highlight reel of weird things that happen.
He's got a pretty good egg right now on that elbow.
Holy smokes. I wonder if that little gash on there is from the cupped end of a bat. If Duncan uses a cupped end, I think that may answer your question. Here we go.
Laporta almost took out Andy Marte in the on-deck circle. If you didn't know better, you'd swear there was a full moon.
No, that's past. That happened the 24th. That's the third time, I think, this homestand that we've seen Laporta launch a bat in a swing.
One pitch. In the air, left field. Gordon will make the catch. And the side is retired. 4 complete from Progressive Field. It's Kansas City 2, Cleveland nothing.
A new Chicken McNuggets Party Pack. 50 Chicken McNuggets for $9.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By KeyBank. Stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Now open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick. Visit paninisgrill.com.
Well, a weird day has taken yet another strange twist for the Tribe as we go now to the fifth inning. Luis Valbuena has shifted from second base over to third base. Jason Donald has now come into the game. He's gone to second base. And Andy Marte has gone over to first base. And the reason for all of that is that during Matt Laporta's last at-bat, something happened on a pitch. We'll show it to you when we have a moment here. And then when he flied to left, he got down to first base rather gingerly. Lonnie Soloff, Indians trainer, went out, checked him out. And Laporta has left the ball game. It appeared, Rick, and again, we'll get another look at it. It appeared that he might have done something to his lower back. I noticed he sort of flinched early in that at-bat. And I don't know if it's been something that maybe has been bothering him and it just flared up or what, but he's unable to continue. So a lot of shifting and moving around on the infield.
That's exactly right.
Swung on and missed by Gregor Blanco, who has struck out and walked today.
Well, Nix was DHing today, so there's your other infielder. That's why they had Donald was going to get the day off. Not to be.
Now Carmona into the line on the 2-2. Bounced it in there, full count. Payoff pitch. And he's walked him again. Second time he has put Blanco on. Take another look at what happened to Matt Laporta here. See if you can see anything on this at bat, Rick.
Almost looked like something buckled on him right there.
Yeah, he's just an odd.
You know, watch his front foot goes out and it gives way, and then his backside.
Maybe it was an ankle or a knee or something. I don't know.
I don't know. He's looking right around his hip area. I don't know. Hard to tell. Yeah. We'll get an update, I'm sure, when they have one. You don't know if something happened. He's been swinging the bat pretty well.
Mike Aviles 0 for 2 today. In the air, right center. Crow is there calling for it. And we've got one out here in the 5th. Our 5-star league leaders brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. Fausto Carmona looking for one of those double play balls right here to get out of this 5th inning. He could use some quick pitched innings because the pitch counts have piled up on him today.
Well, and Kansas City's approach looks like it's been a little different, too. They're not going up there swinging early.
Well, you have to give former Indian Kevin Sykes a little credit because I'm sure that's the hitter's game plan coming in was
make him throw pitches.
Don't be overly aggressive.
Right. If you get something you like, go ahead, but
Kaihue 0 for 2 today.
9 Royal hitters, Matt, have gone 5 pitches or more in at-bats. So that's what works the count. That's what does it. I mean, you've got a lot of guys going up there, and they're going to make them throw a lot of pitches. Try and get them out of there early.
High pop into right field. Chu battling the sun. Makes the catch. He dropped to a knee to hang on to it. 2 away.
Well, save big with Budweiser 2 for Tuesday. When the White Sox are in town, you get 2 tickets in the bleachers and $20 in ticket plus food credit for only $32. 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com for your tickets.
Runner goes on the first pitch to Butler. A strike is called, but a steal for Gregor Blanco, his 9th.
That's 30 out of 36 against Carmona. You've got average speed or base runners. That's what you want to do. With Fausto throwing so many ground balls, although there's 2 outs to stay out of the double play, you will put your running game in place.
Billy Butler with a base hit his last time up, came around to score, extending his streak to 93 consecutive series with at least a hit. He trails only Willie Wilson now, who did it in 96 consecutive series with the Royals for the all-time franchise record. I'm curious. I wonder how that stacks up, on other teams.
That's the first time I've ever heard of that stat.
Me too. I thought it was rather unusual when you were talking about it earlier.
Everybody's PR department does it differently,
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that they've had, and they've kept it in place for a while. That's doing the research.
Well, this note was according to Stats Inc., and so I don't know if maybe it's just something that they came up with. I mean, you think of the great hitters like DiMaggio, who had the consecutive games hitting streak. Wonder how many consecutive series he probably had hit in.
About 1,000.
For that matter, a guy like Ted Williams. I mean, the year he hit 400, he probably didn't go a series without a hit.
Well, he walked a lot. He was a guy that, for being as a great hitter as he is, he never had 200 hits in a season because they would walk. He had such a good eye.
Marte squeezes it, and the inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 2-0 Kansas City. fifth inning. Bottom third of the order due up. Andy Marte, Chris Jimenez, and Luis Valbuena. Marte looks at a strike, fly to center his first time up. Special birthday wishes going out today to Kim Koza in Prattville, Alabama, celebrating her 18th birthday today.
A Tribe fan from down in Alabama.
Well, her and the family originally from Ohio, but they were transplanted down in Alabama 13 years ago. And Kim's mom wrote that they still tune in every day on MLB.TV to catch all the games.
Right. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday indeed. Fouled out of play. Boy, opportunity for a guy in the sweets. Right in his paws, and he booted it. He'll be telling everybody, like the fisherman, the one that got away. Deep to left, it's off the fence. Gordon plays it well, makes a great throw, and holds Marte to a long single. Boy, you can't play it any better than that. He may have been fortunate in that the carom came right to him. He chased that ball back to the wall, and sometimes you can get pinned up against the wall.
Well, he hung him a big, slow curveball. And once he realized he made a nice stop because he ran himself deep. He thought he might have had a chance at it originally, then realized he wasn't going to catch it. So when he caught it cleanly off the wall, you have to hold up, even though the throw was a little long, but he played it nicely for not being a left fielder and not being his home park.
And now Chris Jimenez was looking to bunt, took the ball outside. Bruce Chen has done a nice job of slowing the Indians down. In the first two games of this series, the Tribe batted .356 as a team, but they have just 2 singles so far today. Not to mention, piled up 14 extra base hits in the first 2 games of this series. Inside, 2 balls and a strike.
Chen has only had one 2-0 count this afternoon. He's been able to, to maximize it. Now he's falling behind 3-1.
Well, he's finishing his second time through the lineup here. And he only gave up 1 hit first time through, and so far 1 hit second time through. Full count. And the payoff pitch to Jimenez. Nope, a toss over to first instead. We haven't seen Chen throw over to first as much today, only because there haven't been many base runners. But normally, he will throw over there a ton. Payoff pitch, fouled back.
Yeah, he did that in his start in Kansas City against them, where they gave up 11 hits. They had a lot of base runners constantly throwing to first base.
And it's not as if he has a good move.
No, he doesn't really. When it's coming from a left-hander, he just throws over there.
The 3-2. Weakly hit off the end of the bat. And the only play for Aviles is at first. He'll get Jimenez. And with one out, Marte in the scoring position now for Luis Valbuena.
Well, you can meet a current Tribe player and watch the Indians from the field with Batting Practice Extra. Choose from 3 different packages. Options include Progressive Field Fun Money or dinner in the Terrace Club. And Batting Practice Extra is for before a few select games. 216-420-HITS and reserve your tickets.
And Luis Valbuena digs in. Lefty-lefty matchup. Valbuena involved in a rare feat. He grounded out 3-4-3 in his first at bat. Hit the ball hard, but his bat exploded on him. And the ball caromed off the glove of first baseman Kila Kaiahue right to the second baseman Mike Aviles, who grabbed it and threw it back to Kaiahue to get him out at first. A game filled with some oddities so far today. All the while, the Indians are trying to come back here and finish off a sweep of Kansas City, as well as extend their winning streak to 4 straight. 2-0 the count.
That's a second 2-0 count, and Chen will change arm angles as well.
Three 3-0. Trevor Crowe waits in the on-deck circle. The 3-0. Taken all the way, it's a called strike. And on the 3-1, it's outside for ball 4. 2 on, 1 out, and now Trevor Crowe will be the batter. Well, coming up in the month of September, when the Indians hit a home run, right here on Sports Time Ohio, we'll give away Coca-Cola for a year. Winners will receive 24 12-packs of Coke. Visit STOHD.com and get yourself signed up to win a year's worth of Coca-Cola every time the Tribe hits a home run.
All righty.
I would hope that 24 12-packs is enough for a year.
Maybe not.
Not for you necessarily.
No, I'm not. I'm a water guy.
Our boy Hammy can go through some
go.
Diet Cokes now. Somebody was just telling me about that. That's what they drink for breakfast. I'm like, breakfast?
I want the buzz. Caffeine buzz.
Wow.
Sugar buzz.
I remember, this is going back years ago, but I spent a summer in Atlanta, and they promote it down there and advertise it. You go to your local breakfast joint and have your favorite breakfast dish with a Coca-Cola, and they give you the special price, and it's like just so odd to hear that as part of a nutritious breakfast. Eggs, bacon, and a glass of Coke. Why not? 2 on with 1 out for Trevor Crowe as the Indians try to break through on the board here today. Oh, a strike on the inside corner, and Crowe doesn't like it. That'll even the count. One ball and 2 strikes. He deals. And it's popped up. Infield fly rule in effect. The ball is caught in foul ground. And we have 2 down. Well, that'll bring up Asdrubal Cabrera, who is 1 for 2 with a bunt single on the afternoon. Cabrera with the game winner last night, a home run in the 10th inning. His first ever game-ending homer. Right now, you'd settle for a base hit just to get the offense on the board.
Yeah, it's been quiet here this afternoon. The folks have had a lot of offense on Friday. It was a good game last night, controlled into extra innings, but looking to get into it.
Ball 1 to Asdrubal Cabrera. Manny Acta has continued to sing the praises of Cabrera, lauding him for his ability to come back quickly after the fractured arm he suffered in Tampa earlier this year. There's a squibber up the middle, and it's fielded on the run by Betancourt, throws to first to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 2 men left aboard, and after 5, it's still 2-zip KC. $0.99 a pound at any Northeast Ohio Mark's location.
So come into your nearest Mark's, where you'll find a huge selection at low prices every day.
Well, the Indians are trying to go, but they're stuck in neutral so far here this afternoon. Only 2 hits on the day. Royals lead it 2-0 on back-to-back sacrifice flies in the 4th inning. Here in the 6th, Wilson Bediment to lead it off. He has grounded out and walked and scored. Now, Judy Rothenberg was supposed to be out celebrating her 38th birthday today in grand style, but instead she's homesick watching us on TV.
Oh, that's too bad.
Bediment tried to hold up, but he went around. Well, happy birthday, Judy, and hope you're feeling better soon. A ball and 2 strikes for Carmona. Struck out 2 of the first 3 hitters to start the game. Has not struck out a batter since. In fact, he retired the first 5 before he gave up the flare hit to Alex Gordon in the 2nd inning.
Well, you remember in his last start against Kansas City, he didn't strike anybody out, but only had 1 walk.
Yeah, well, and the other thing, the Royals only have the 3 hits today. But 2 of those hits were coupled with a walk to load the bases in the 4th.
Set up their 2-run inning.
And then they had the back-to-back sacrifice flies. So they've made the most of their limited chances here today. Carmona, meanwhile, unable to put Betterman away. The count is now full in the payoff pitch. Got him. That's his third strikeout, first since the first inning. One down in the sixth. This game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Brian Pena had one sac fly, and that enabled a runner to go to second to third. And Mitch Meyer followed with another sacrifice fly. For the Indians today, Matt Laporta left the game with some kind of an injury. It looked like he was grabbing for his hip area. He had to leave, and the Indians had to reshuffle the deck on the infield. Gordon with a lazy fly to center field. 2 down. Back to the studio one more time for a National League update. Here's Chud with the latest.
Yeah, the playoff chase heating up. St. Louis at Washington. You know, St. Louis trailing the Reds. Here's John Landon, the Nationals pitcher, off the ace, Adam Wainwright. That made it 2-0. Right now it's 4-0 Washington in the fourth. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Chud. Pena with a beautiful bunt, and that's a base hit for him. But it's a 2-out bunt.
Right. And a catcher that can't run, so to try to steal a base. But, you know, as we talked about as many times, as would you say is his 14th or 15th start this year? You know, he's just going out there to try and get on base.
Yeah.
That's all he's trying to do. I mean, it was a beautiful bunt. But, you know, if you're Carmona, you say, no problem. I've got 2 outs. Let's go. We need one more out. We'll get out of the inning. I don't think you have to worry about Pena stealing a base.
But there are some baseball guys who frown upon the 2-out bunt.
No, your job is to get on base. I mean, and it depends on who the hitter is and at what time you want to do it. This kid's just trying to get on base and make something happen. He has driven in 1 run. He's been on base twice today. And then the sacrifice fly with the RBI, so he has had a decent day. Plus, he also took one in the elbow on a backswing, so.
Two balls and no strikes.
We have seen it before, though. You look back at the second inning after they had the 2-out single. Carmona walked Pena, you know, and you make him work. And sometimes Fausto has problems, you know, getting that third out of the inning. You're getting to the bottom part of that lineup, and the more pitches you make him throw, he's going to be right around 100 here soon. He is at 97 right now. So that bullpen is going to get up, I'm sure, and start moving around here quickly.
Foul away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. And a runner at first base. Low and away, and the count is full. Hector Ambry's just now starting to loosen in the Indians bullpen. Ground ball, backhanded by Marte. The flip to Carmona, and he dropped the ball. So 2 on with 2 out.
So now that bunt looks pretty good because you're making Carmona work now.
I would imagine that'll be an error on Fausto.
Yeah, that's got to be an error. It was over there. Marte got it to him, gives him a good flip. But when you're covering, he wants to look at the bag. He just never caught the ball. That flip was a little low, mind you, but it's a play that should be made. So now Carmona, the inning will continue.
Tim Belcher going to make a trip to the mound here as Fausto is right at 100 pitches on the afternoon. By the way, Rick, in that update that Chud just gave us on the Nationals and the Cardinals, Nyjer Morgan not in the starting lineup today for the Washington Nationals. Odd play in the game yesterday in which he was trying to score on a 3-run double, what would have been a 3-run double, except when he came into home plate, there was not a play at the plate, but he went out of his way to try and run over Brian Anderson, the catcher, and missed home plate. And then he was ruled out because Pudge Rodriguez had grabbed him and told him to go back to touch home plate. And Tony La Russa was hot after the ballgame, and so was the Cardinals catcher Brian Anderson.
No,
so I'm pretty sure if Morgan had been in the lineup today, he would have been like a clay pigeon.
He would have had a target on his back.
Anderson called what Morgan did to him, quote, a cheap shot.
They'll take care of it. I don't know if they ever play again. Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
This year.
But as you know as well as I do, baseball players are like elephants.
Yeah,
they don't
memory.
forget
That's
anything.
That's right. Long in the tooth, baby. They remember.
Somebody will remember that. File it away. Two on for Kansas City, 2 out. And the 2-0 pitch to Betancourt is swung on and missed. He might have chased ball 3 right there.
I always felt that, Betancourt, he is a free swinger when he gets runners on base. It's a ball. He helps him out right there instead of being patient and making him work because he's thinking, hey, I want to drive that run in from second. Well, you can do that, but you have to get a good pitch to do it with.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. By the way, those of you who may have seen the story, either online or in a paper somewhere about Bob Feller, just to let you know, Bob is being treated for leukemia. But Rick and I both spoke to him before the game today, and I mean, he looks great. He's in tremendous spirits. Feeling much better. And always great to see him here at the ball yard.
Yes, it is.
A 2-2 swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's 4 Ks for Carmona. And the Royals strand a pair. Middle of the 6th, still 2-zip KC. Going now to the bottom of the 6th inning, Shin-Soo Choo, Shelly Duncan, and Jason Nix. Shin-Soo Choo 0 for 2 today. Tries to bunt his way on, but that's going to stay foul. He had a chance for a base hit his first time up, but he hit a ball that was dying, sinking fast in center field. And Gregor Blanco played it on the short hop. But because the ball was so close to being caught, as Drupal Cabrera, the runner at first base, couldn't get to second before they threw him out there. And so instead of a hit, Choo had a fielder's choice, and now he's 0 for 3. Here's the answer to our AT&T trivia question. AT&T rethink possible. Well, we were thinking your old teammate Dwayne Kuiper.
That's got to be my man, Kite. Absolutely. Remember that day. Yes, indeed. One and one only, which is good. Good for him. That's all you need.
And now a longtime television broadcaster for the San Francisco Giants.
We talk about it. I see him in the wintertime. And, I mean, he says it's brought up every day at some point in time because that's what he's known for.
So do you suppose today during the Giants broadcast?
Oh, my goodness. Yes. We go to San Francisco next year and play them.
Shelly Duncan with a base hit. Now he's going to turn and keep going. Gordon had a little trouble picking that ball up cleanly. We'll see how it's ruled.
Probably going to be ruled a hit and an error because Duncan stopped at first base, and then he never restarted until he saw that Gordon bobbled it. It's a hit and an error, and it should be. See, he rushes into this corner. He gets over there and just doesn't field it cleanly. And once he bobbled it, a little too late. Watch Duncan stop, and then kicked it back in gear when he saw it. So a hit and an error.
All right, so 1 on, 1 out for Jason Nix. He's 0 for 2 as the Indians will try to get on the board. Third time they've had a runner in scoring position today. But only 2 hits on the afternoon. A single in the first and a single leading off the 5th before Duncan's 1-out hit here in the 6th. Up the middle, hits off the mound. Betancourt just did get him at first. Close play. But there are 2 down now as Duncan moves over to third base. Well, here's our Miller Taste Greatness moment. And the reason I wondered if they'll bring it up on the Giants broadcast today is because it was on this day in 1977.
Look at that sold-out house back at the old ballpark. Off of Steve Stone. This is Joe Tate and Herb Score. Yeah. Beautiful. There's Joe Nossick coaching third base. Buddy Bell's at the plate. That was beautiful. How'd you like the unis, man? The red tops, white bottoms.
Was that Mel Allen's voice I heard there at the end? Was that from This Week in Baseball?
I don't know.
Popped him up, back, and out of play.
But you can see how excited Joe Tate was and Herb Score to see him get the trot around the bases in 77.
Yeah. Good stuff.
He on the pregame show, he said he was shocked because he never saw the right fielder ever turn around and see the number on his back. And when he saw Wayne Nordhagen do that, he said he knew it had a chance. He still has that chair in his house from the old stadium where it hit. Yes, he does. And we'll get to see them next year, I think. We're going to head out to San Fran.
Swung on and missed. Jason Donald in his first at-bat of the day coming on for Matt Laporta, who was injured. Still no word on the exact nature of Laporta's injury, although it did appear that he did something possibly to his left hip. Up high, 2-2 the count. And that's out of play.
I want to send along a happy 77th birthday to Steve Kostrobonic, former Gold Glove champ. So, Steve, happy birthday to you.
And the 2-2 pitch. Back out of play again. So Donald fighting away. 88 pitches on the afternoon for Bruce Chen. Brian Pena, his catcher. You notice with Pena, he's got his fingernails painted.
Yeah.
So that it's a little bit easier for the pitcher to see what signs he's. Sometimes you see guys wrap tape around their fingers.
Right.
But he's just gone to the.
Well, on a sunny day, you can see how clear you can really see him when he puts it down. You can see.
Looks a little odd, but.
Well, he also wears a skirt.
2-2 smash to straightaway center. Blanco's back. Won't get it. It's gone. Donald, a 2-out, 2-run homer, ties the game. His 4th blast of the season. Donald coming off the bench when Laporta was injured, and he delivers for the Tribe.
Well, go figure. He didn't start this ball game, and the theme for the Indians in their win streak has been the long ball. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it because Jason Donald gets a fastball to his liking and goes straight away center field and hits the home run. And that'll tie this ball game up, and Chen went one fastball too many.
Well, it was a heck of a battle. We talked about it. You know, sometimes you have a great at bat. You don't always see the results, but there's one case where you do. Now Marte with a drive to right field. Meyer going back, can't make the play. He got tied up, and it looked like the sun really bothered him as well. And Andy Marte with a 2-out double. I'm assuming they'll give him a double there. Even though Meyer had leather on it. Couldn't bring it in, though.
Well, we saw Chu having to use that glove, to look at that sun. So that has got to be a bother out there for the outfielders. Marte stayed on it. You see going back is Meyer, and that was just a tough play.
What?
He was running that into the sun. He never got leather on.
No, he didn't. I thought he did initially.
No. I'll tell you what happens. You're running back, and as you're going back to try and catch that ball, it's still staying in the sun. It never came out of it from him. So he could never track it down. So it gets over his head, and a clean double for Marte.
Pitching coach Bob McClure to the mound to talk with Bruce Chen, who had a 2-hit shutout coming into this 6th inning. But now 3 hits for the Tribe. We're all even, and they've got the go-ahead run and scoring position now for Chris Jimenez.
Absolutely right, man. 3 hits in the inning, more than they had in the first 5 innings.
Well, that hit by Donald was the first knock for the Indians today with a runner on base. And he went deep to center, over the fence, and gone. Chris Jimenez looks at a ball low.
Well, Jason had 4 hits on Friday night. He had a very good night. Had a knock last night, getting the day off, and now he comes up with the big one.
Second time for Donald this year with 4 hits in a game. As you alluded to his performance on Friday night, swing and a miss. Boy, he pulled a string on that pitch. Chris is probably thinking he's got to throw me a fastball, 2-0 count, and he crossed him up.
Well, he was doing that thinking as a hitter. When he's the catcher, he's sitting the same thing. Well, this guy's looking fastball. I'm going to give him a changeup.
Marte, the go-ahead run at second base for the Tribe. batting in the bottom of the 6th.
That's the pitch I thought he was going to throw. Jason Donald come back after he fouled off a couple of fastballs, but he never did. There it is there. There's the fastball following up that changeup.
Jesse Chavez working in the Royals pen. He gave up the game-winning homer last night to Asdrubal Cabrera. Chen's 2-2. Trying to nibble. Missing. Full count. The payoff pitch. And he fights it off. Stays alive. Pena out for a chat. Jason Donald delivering the 2-out, 2-run homer to tie the game at 2 here in the 6th inning. And that is the potential go-ahead run, and Andy Marte at second base. Chen's payoff pitch. Popped him up. Shallow center. Going to be a tough play. Blanco is there in time, and he makes the grab. So the inning is over, but the Indians come back to tie it at 2 after 6 innings of play.
Find out more of what's possible at ATT.com. AT&T Rethink Possible. Buy the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
Well, it's a 2-2 ball game now as we go to the 7th inning, and Fausto Carmona is out to start this inning, even though he's already at 105 pitches on the day. Interesting, in Carmona's body of work today, he only has recorded 4 ground ball outs and none in the last 3 innings.
Well, the funny thing was, out of his first 5 outs, 3 of them were ground ball outs and the 2 strikeouts.
Right.
Then it started where the ground ball. And I was thinking that's a good start for Carmona, getting the ball on the ground.
They're calling it a left hip strain for Matt Laporta, which is kind of what we assumed based on what we saw, that it was something related to the hip, and we'll have to wait and see. Listed as day-to-day for now. if you missed it earlier, this is what we're talking about. Laporta, he just seemed to grimace on that pitch at the plate. And then after he flied out to left field to end the inning, he grabbed that hip as he went down the line and had to leave the ballgame. And as is often the case in the crazy game of baseball, the guy who came in to replace him hits the home run that ties the game, Jason Donald.
Isn't that the truth? We see it happen a lot.
2-2 pitch.
The unexpected.
Grounded.
There's your ground ball.
Donald fumbled it, but throws to first to retire Blanco, 1 down. Let's pause once again for station identification. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Glad to have you with us here on Channel 3 this afternoon. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning. At Progressive Field, Tribe and the Royals knotted up at 2 apiece. Indians try to sweep this 3-game series and move into a tie for 4th place in the AL Central. And in the process, the Indians would extend their win streak to 4 in a row. Mike Aviles is 0 for 3, and a swing and a miss evens the count at a ball and a strike. This scoreboard update is brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's. Aviles literally singled right through Fausto Carmona. And a 1-out base runner now for KCA AT CLE. Now, Fausto Carmona has only had 1-2-3 inning, and that was in the first. So he's had base runners to deal with in every inning today. Although I will say in that 5th inning, he had the leadoff walk, but then the next 3 hitters went rather quickly. But, I mean, he's had to work for it. So
yes, he has.
This 113 pitch count is pretty legitimate today for him. But he's still out there grinding his way through. Activity in the Indians' bullpen as that's grounded foul. His high for the year is 118 pitches. But the one thing we've always known about Carmona, he's a horse. I mean, he's a guy who goes out there. He can handle a little bit of the extra workload.
He's a big man. You're exactly right. I mean, they haven't had stressful, guys on third base. The one inning they did, they had quick sacrifice flies, and he was out of it. They did it early in the count. And it seems like they're getting after him early in the count here.
There's a ball driven deep left center, and that is going to find the fence. Coming around third, Mike Aviles is going to score the go-ahead run for Kansas City. So KCA AT CLE with just his 2nd hit in the series and his 6th RBI on the year puts Kansas City ahead 3-2.
Well, he stayed on that ball nicely. The first extra base hit of the afternoon for the Royals, and it's going to give them a run. You see a sinker that maybe stayed up. It was stayed on the same plane, and Kaihui, he drove it to left center field. He didn't try to pull that ball, and it short hops the wall. Crow gets it in, but not before Aviles can score. So the Royals will take a 3-2 lead.
And now Billy Butler, who is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored back in the 4th. Now the 1-0 to Butler. And that's low, and Chris Jimenez is going to go out and talk to Fausto, but it looks like the tank has emptied on Carmona.
Well, he had Smith up out in the bullpen that I can see from here, and I thought he was up for Butler in case he comes to the plate. Well, now that the double drove in the third run, Carmona remains in the game, and I'm not sure. Do we have a left-hander up out there? I can't see it.
Tony Sipp.
All right, and then you've got the switch hitter Bennett, who is on deck.
2-0 to Butler. Mashed deep center. Crow back. Dives and makes a great catch. And Kaiahui has to go back to second base. 2 down in the inning. Crow left his feet, made the stab, and hung on when he hit the turf.
This ball hit right on the nose, and you can see Trevor Crow going back. Makes the diving catch, gets up, and throws it in, and that's going to do it for Fausto Carmona.
So Carmona will leave after 6 1/3 innings of work here today. And 118 pitches on the afternoon. And the Royals now lead at 3-2. And this pitching change is brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Tony Sipp on for the 57th time this year. 2 wins, 2 losses, ERA 4.74. He has struck out 52, walked 32, and 49 1/3 innings of work. He'll face Wilson Bedemet, the switch hitter.
Yeah, and Carmona 6 hits in his 6 2/3, walked 4, struck out 4. Last night it was Benemet who drove in the tying run off Rafael Perez from the right side of the plate. This guy's having just a solid year with Kansas City. 362 from the right side, 325 from the left. So here's if you're Tony Sipp, is where you want to be careful with first base open, is my point. With the left-hander Gordon on deck, you just don't want to give in and give him something good to hit.
I think I said before, Carmona's day over after 6 1/3. He goes 6 2/3 here this afternoon. But he's now on the short end. Good pitch by Sipp in for a strike. One ball, one strike. Now the 1-1 pitch. Bounced it in there. 2 balls and a strike. Wilson Bedimit has really done a terrific job for the Royals. Batting .335 on the year when the day began. He's actually a better hitter from the right side. .362 average as opposed to .325 from the left side. A little more power from the left side. 6 homers, 4 from the right.
They're just going to put him on. There you go. They're going to be careful. Put him on. Go ahead and take your chances with the left-hander.
So 2 on, 2 out. And Alex Gordon, who is 2 for 3, will be the batter. And a first pitch strike to Alex Gordon, who with those 2 hits today has 5 in the series. He has really taken to his new position in the outfield.
Yeah, and he likes playing against the Indians.
Boy, does he. And Fausto Carmona. He really has his number.
Yeah, he is.
2 more hits today. What, he's around 500 coming in.
Yeah, he was 8 for 19, so he is now 10 for 22.
The 1-1 pitch. Tony Sipp really slowing the pace down here with 2 men on base. Good pitch again. Really hitting some tight spots. 1-2 the count. Two balls, 2 strikes, as Gordon was not going to chase that time. Kaiahui, who doubled in the go-ahead run here in the 7th, is at second base, and Bediment was intentionally walked down at first. And the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He got him to chase that time. The Royals leave 2, but they take the lead 3-2, stretch time in Cleveland. As we move to the bottom of the 7th here at Progressive Field, a reminder that Panini's is the home of the overstuffed sandwich with 3 new locations now open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick, coming soon to Twinsburg. Log on to paninisgrill.com for a list of locations. Bruce Chen has gone 6 innings, giving up just 5 hits. 3 of them came in the 6th inning when the Indians came back to tie the ball game. But now Kansas City has gone ahead, and Luis Valbuena will lead off for the Tribe, to be followed by Trevor Crow and Asdrubal Cabrera. Valbuena 0 for 1 with a walk. Chen's 99th pitch of the afternoon coming up right here. And a first pitch, a strike. 17 of 27. First pitch strikes for the Royals left-hander.
You know, he's right about on course. He was in his last start against the Indians.
One-up smash. Betancourt with a long throw, not in time. And Valbuena, even though Kaihui bobbled it, beat it out anyway. So the Indians with a leadoff single to start the bottom of the 7th inning. That's the tying run.
Well, Valbuena finally catches a break. I mean, it was a good play, but Betancourt had to stop, get it going. He would have been safe even if Kaihui picks that ball cleanly. You could see his foot was on the base, and he wants that call. He needs to hit into a little bit of luck.
Ned Yost looks like he's going to pull the plug. He left Chen in to face the left-handed hitting Valbuena, but that will do it. So we've got a timeout here at Progressive Field. KC on top, 3-2. He goes to right-hander Jesse Chavez on for the 12th time this year. 2 up, 2 down, 692 earned run average. And as I mentioned earlier, Asdrubal Cabrera got him last night with a game-winning homer.
Well, you have a situation here. What's Maniac to want to do? Sacrifice him over, give up the out?
Chavez is a very good fastball. Crow 0 for 3. Reached on an error by the first baseman back in the 3rd. Big swing and a foul right back. Bedimit, the third baseman, was creeping in, looking for that bunt that you were talking about. You know, if that's the play. But it looks like Maniac turning him loose, at least early in the count, if he's going to bunt. This would be the shot.
You said he's got a good fastball, so give him a shot at the fastball. Why give up an out? That's what we're looking at. Unless he gave him one shot, and we'll see what happens.
You know, I remember before the season even began, talking with Manny one time, and that strategy of bunting a runner over to second base. I mean, there are stats that show you the percentage of times that actually leads to a run, and it's not really all that favorable. As a ball is rifled to left field, but it's right into the tracks of Gordon for out number 1.
Well, you can take a break from the work week and head down to the ballpark Wednesday afternoon, take in lunch in 3 innings. It's the Chicago White Sox for a day game, the 12:05 game, plus $10 to spend on food and drinks, all for just $15 a ticket. On sale now at Indians.com. That's the final game of the homestand before the Indians head west, Wednesday at 12.
You know, sometimes
Big
Rick,
Al will be on at 11:30.
Yeah. Sometimes, Rick, there are statistics and then there's logic. You know, and statistically, you know, the bunt play to sacrifice a runner into scoring position may not be that overwhelming, but logically, it's easier to score a guy from second base than it is to score him all the way from first.
Well, a lot of things go into it. Who's hitting behind you? They're going to walk the next guy. What's going on? And matchups, and you can go round and round. There's just some times where you have to do it. You've got to sacrifice that guy over. I think Manny feels now with this bullpen, Kansas City struggled. They've got the worst pitching staff as far as ERA-wise in the league goes. Let's take our shot and try and score, which I don't disagree with. You're at the top of the lineup.
One pitch. Yeah, you kind of threw me there with that line about Al being on at 11:30 Wednesday. I don't know what he's going to be on. Won't be here.
No, I forgot. We're not televising Wednesday. I just, every game it's there. I figured we're on.
Wednesday's 12 o'clock game will not be televised on Sports Time.
Al's on, but we're not. He's
2-1 pitch.
Well, maybe on computer doing it. I don't know.
Well, I wonder. I would not be surprised if that game would be televised in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it is.
And so perhaps if it's on WGN, you could see it in Cleveland. I don't know how that works. Not sure.
Well, it would be on blackout.
There's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Up high, runner. Doesn't matter. Ball 4. Albuena was moving. So now the Indians have 2 on with 1 out, and Shin-Soo Choo will be the batter. That's going to bring out Bob McClure, the Royals pitching coach. This Royals bullpen has had its problems. And they were illustrated on Friday night. Tomorrow night at 11, it's the debut of the Mid-American Conference Football Preview Show. I'll sit down with Frank Stams and take an in-depth look at each of the schools in the MAC. Tomorrow night at 11, only on Sports Time Ohio. That'll be a lot of fun. MAC football coming to STO this fall, as well as basketball in the winter. Well, big opportunity for the Indians here. 2 on, 1 out. And you've got your best hitter at the plate. Choo is 0 for 3 on the day. Chopped it off the plate. Only play is at first, 2 down. Valbuena to third, Cabrera to second.
Michael Brantley coming out to pinch hit for Duncan. Brantley will be his first pinch hit appearance this year. And the 49th for the Indians. And he's pinch hitting for the guy that is the pinch hit extraordinaire, Duncan, who started this ball game. He has 6 of the 7 pinch hits for the Indians. But with 2 outs, we'll see if Michael can swing of the bat. The Indians could take a lead here.
Duncan just snapped his 0 for 15 slump with a base hit his last time up. Chavez with the 0-1. Outside corner called strike 0-2. Boy, Detroit just hammering Toronto today, 10-1 at the Rogers Center. A little bit outside. That's what you want to do, though. If you're able to paint that outside corner, move it just a little bit farther off the plate, see if he'll either chase it or maybe you get the call sometimes.
No, Brantley, a hitter. We've mentioned that he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He's got a good eye at the plate. He has a pretty good knowledge of the strike zone.
Trying to deliver here for the Tribe. Second and third, 2 down, 1-2 pitch up high. Evens the count at 2-2. Yankees lead the White Sox 2-0. They're in the 5th at U.S. Cellular Field. Rangers and A's scoreless in the 2nd. A lot of late games today. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out looking. And the Indians leave 2 stranded. We'll go to the 8th, 3-2 Kansas City. Well, it's a 3-2 Kansas City lead as we go now to the 8th inning. And Trevor Crowe slides over to left as Michael Brantley goes into center. Bottom third of the KC lineup due here. Brian Pena, Mitch Meyer, Unieski Betancourt. Fastball at the belt for a strike. Pena drove in a run in the 4th inning with a sacrifice fly. Right field, Chu again battling the sun. Makes the grab, front edge of the track, out number 1.
Well, the school year has started again, and it's time to stop by any Indians team shop and get your school supplies and back-to-school gear. You'll receive a Major League Baseball backpack if you purchase $125 or more. So stop in.
Down low. Mitch Meyer with a 1 out here in the 8th. Had a sac fly in the 4th inning. Two balls and a strike. Tony Sipp came on and got the final out of the 7th inning. That ball's mashed. Deep right field. Chu back, looking, and gone. Mitch Meyer with his 5th home run of the year. And his 35th run batted in makes it 4-2 Kansas City.
Well, he got the bat head out in front of this pitch. Meyer not a home run hitter, but everything was in tune here. Let's check out and see what the pitch was. A fastball upstairs. Middle in. It was about belt high. And he stayed on it and gave it a ride. That makes it a 4-2 ball game. For Tony Sipp, that is his 11th home run given up this year in 50 innings.
In the air, left center. Michael Brantley calls off Crow. 2 down. Back to the studios once again. Dave Chudowski has the latest from Chicago between the Yankees and the White Sox.
Yeah, Matt, the White Sox coming to town next today, hosting the Yankees, and the big hurt Frank Thomas having the number 35 retired. But here's Brett Gardner in the 3rd, an RBI single to make it 2-0. That's the score right now in the 5th. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Chud. Frank Thomas gets his number 35 retired by the Sox.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Well, he put up some numbers every single year.
The big hurt.
Former tight end at Auburn. He was one of those guys who never looked like a baseball player. He always looked like a football player.
Oh, boy. I mean, you just go stand next to him. And he was a big man. With a great eye at the plate, could hit a ball a mile.
Yeah. Right-hander Blake Wood heating it up for KC. 10 balls, 10 strikes for Tony Sipp. Now that one misses up high. So more balls than strikes for the Indians left-hander. 2 down here in the 8th inning. Gregor Blanco has walked twice and stole a base today. And a borderline pitch is called a strike. Hector Ambry loosening once again for the Tribe. He was up earlier in the ballgame. And that's ball 4. Oh, a 2-out base runner will bring up Mike Aviles. Don't miss the Browns' final preseason game this Thursday. Can you believe that? The final preseason game is already here.
Yeah, I know it.
It's right here on Channel 3. Jim Donovan, Bernie Kosar will call the action as the players battle for those final spots on the roster. Browns and the Bears, Thursday at 8, only on Channel 3, your official Cleveland Browns station. Aviles takes a strike. High school football underway here in northeastern Ohio. Everybody teeing it up and kicking it off this past weekend. You're talking about the back-to-school deal. Big day in our neighborhood. It's the final of the 3 Pinsura boys. Got on the bus for the first time. They've got Blanco hung up and tagged out. And the inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Tribe now down a pair, 4-2. Score right now as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Blake Wood has come on now for KC for the 41st time this year. 1 up, 3 down, 5.40 ERA.
Well, he's
walked more than he has struck out.
Interesting year against the Indians. Made his major league debut May 12th against Cleveland. And then they had a rough outing on August 19th, and we were back in Kansas City. Entered the 8th with 2 on. 1 out, Kansas City holding a 3-1 lead. He allowed both inherited runners to score and was charged with 2 of his own. Took the loss in that ball game. So the Indians have come back on him before, and you want to get to this guy because you know who the 9th inning belongs to in Kansas City.
Well, and if Wood gets in any trouble, we'll see Soria here in the 8th.
I would not doubt it. You're absolutely right.
Down and in to Nix, who is 0 for 3 today.
You know, the Indians so far today, clutch hitting. They did a terrific job on Friday night. They, with runners on base, were 12 for 25 and 7 for 18 with runners in scoring position. But today, 1 for 14 with runners on base, 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. In the last 2 days, they got back to, I shouldn't say normal, they struggled. Saturday was 1 for 11 and 1 for 9.
Well, right now you'd just like to see them get those opportunities. They had one in the 7th, but could not cash in. Swing and a miss. Knicks down on the count of 2 strikes. There's Jason Donald, who hit the 2-run homer with 2 outs in the 6th. That tied the game briefly. And Nick strikes out to start the 8th. Donald smashed a 2-out, 2-run homer to straightaway center field in the 6th. In his first and only at bat of the day, he came on when Matt Laporta injured his hip earlier in the ballgame. And the Indians reshuffled their entire infield. There's a look back at that home run Donald hit. Got the fastball and blasted it.
He sure did. Center field, man. That's a little pop right there.
Out of play on the right side. Blake Wood ready now with a 1-1. And now he's ahead in the count. So Joakim Soria is up and getting loose just in case they should need him here in the 8th, because Ned Yost doesn't want to get swept. And he hasn't had to use him so far in the series. Swung on and missed. Well, Blake Wood looked pretty sharp today.
Yes, he has.
He's had his moments against the Indians, but he has struck out the first 2 here in the 8th.
It's been that slider. He has 2 strikeouts in the inning, both coming on the breaking ball, or the slider from Wood. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 punch outs.
Blake Wood, a Georgia Tech product. Was a 3rd-round pick of the Royals back in 06. Up high, no, a called strike. Andy Marte, a couple of hits on the day, a single and a double. Jammed him with that pitch. Nothing like 97 right in on your thumbs. 0-2.
Well, when you're throwing 97 and you've got movement going in, that's why that slider away has been a strikeout pitch.
The 2-strike delivery. There it is. Yes, indeed. And he strikes out the side. We go to the 9th. 4-2 KC.
Into the ninth inning, 4-2 Royals. Indians are going to go back to their bullpen for their third pitcher this afternoon. Hector Ambrose is going to come out and get an inning of work, appearing for the 32nd time. A record of 0-1, an ERA of 5.56. He's coming on to face Aviles, Kaiahui, and Butler, the scheduled hitters. Tony Sipp went an inning and a third, gave up the one hit, that home run to Mitch Meyer that made it a 2-run ball game. And you know who the Indians are going to see come to the bottom half of the ninth inning.
Yes, indeed, you do. Joaquin Soria will be coming on for the Royals. Right now it's up to Hector Ambrose to make sure they don't get any farther
keep
away.
it a 2-run game.
Mike Aviles singled and scored in the 7th. And it's fouled right back out of play. Strike called 0-2. The Minnesota Twins are out in Seattle to battle the Mariners at 4 o'clock. Tampa Bay hosting Boston. That's the late game at 8 p.m. tonight. Tampa Bay and the Yankees began the day tied for the top spot in the AL East. Yankees lead the White Sox 2-1 in the 6th. Both New York and Tampa looking for their 80th wins of the year, most in baseball. Ground ball hit toward third. Valbuena in the hole. Throw, can't get him. Perfectly placed for Aviles, and he's got his second hit of the day. Now, there's a play, Rick, where you see Valbuena cutting in front of Cabrera, but I don't know that Asdrubal would have had any better shot at it himself.
He wouldn't have. As you said, perfectly placed. Coming across, he wasn't going to get it. You see, if you can cut it off, do it. Cabrera's got to come in and still try and get something on the throw, and I think he would have beat it either way you look at it, no matter who fielded the ball.
Kila Kaiahui, RBI double in the 7th that broke the tie. Looks at the ball low. You know, it just kind of dawned on me, Rick, that you're talking about with Tampa and New York, you're talking about two teams that could go to 30 games over 500 and still not have the outright lead in first place.
Yeah.
In your division. That's something. 30 games above 500. They're both 29 going into today.
Well, that's that Eastern Division. It's the beast of the East, man.
But usually, if you're 30 games over 500, not only are you in first place, but you're usually comfortably in first place, but not this year. Well, even the Red Sox are only 5.5.
Well,
back.
I was going to say, they have 74 wins, and they're not far behind. They needed a win. They would have been looking good for them if they could have swept. So it's a big game for them tonight to try and get that one game back. Haven't picked up anything.
.74 wins, by the way, leads the NL East. NL Central would be a game out of first in the AL Central. And 2 games out of first in the NL West. Ned Yost looking on as his team trying to increase its lead here in the 9th. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Ambrose strikes out Kaiahui for out number 1. Nothing quite like a well-located fastball.
Absolutely. Down and away on the outer edge at the knees.
Billy Butler, 1 for 4 on the afternoon. He singled and scored in the 4th, and then he was robbed of a hit in the 7th on a nice catch by Trevor Crowe in center field. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down, not in time. And Mike Aviles has his 7th steal of the year.
Good throw. Jimenez, you can see, he puts his head down, takes a peek up, and by the time you get there, that foot gets in right before the tag. So a runner in scoring position now for Butler.
Good block by Jimenez. 1-1. Padres are in action at 4 o'clock against the Phillies. It's a big matchup there. San Diego with a comfortable lead in their division, 6 up on the Giants. But the Phillies, 2 games in back of the Braves in the NL East. Atlanta taking it on the chin today against Florida, 6-1 at Turner Field. Who knows how it's going to play out, Rick, but it's a terrific final chapter in the career of Bobby Cox as manager, who announced that this would be his last season. And the Braves are on their way to winning another division title for him.
Well, they're going to have their work cut out for them because Philadelphia is coming back getting healthy. And they beat the Padres the first 2 games of that series. Oswalt got it started. He was dealing.
Yeah, there's another example where Padres have suddenly lost 3 in a row, and yet the Giants, who are chasing them, have also lost 3 in a row. Two-1. Good pitch. Evens the count. Cincinnati Reds banging out 14 hits. The lead 7-5 over the Cubs. They're in the 9th. Down on the banks of the Ohio River. Cincinnati 4 in front of St. Louis in the NL Central. 2-2 pitch. Bounce toward short. Cabrera. Off balance throw. Too high. And another run will score. (5-2) Kansas City, and Butler moves into second base.
Well, that's too bad because Cabrera had a string going of about 34, 35 games without an error. And this one is going to come on the throw. He just put too much air underneath it. Marte at first couldn't come down with it. It's probably going to be a base hit and an error, but no RBI. Right.
Yes, base hit and an error. And both hits to almost the exact same spot on the infield. Wilson Betterment, 0 for 2, couple of walks and a run scored. The 1-0 delivery is down low.
That span for Cabrera as far as making an error. He hasn't made an error since July 21st. Span of 33 games.
Now the 2-0. And just a little bit wide. 3 balls, no strikes. Ambrose misses again. Ball 4. He walked him on 4 straight. 2 on, 1 out. And the left-handed hitting Alex Gordon to the plate. Let's pause once again for station identification. You're watching Cleveland Indians baseball. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you on this Sunday afternoon. Tribe now down 5-2 in the ninth. Kansas City looking for more with only one out. Alex Gordon, 2 singles to start today. Since then, he has flied to center and struck out. Up high with it, 1-1. Swung through it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alex Gordon, native of Lincoln, Nebraska. Played for the Cornhuskers, was the Royals' first pick in 05. He pretty much was good at anything he played as a kid. Basketball, football, and of course baseball. His older brother, Eric, played college baseball at Nebraska, Omaha. And even though there's a 10-year gap between the two brothers, Alex was like Eric's shadow when they were younger. He strikes out looking. Second time he's gone on strikes today. 2 down in the inning.
Both outs coming via the strikeout.
Yeah. That's going to bring up Brian Pena.
There's a fastball. He didn't pull the trigger on it. It's right there. Jimenez holds it, frames it. Lets Darryl Cousins take a good look.
And there's a line drive single to center field. Coming around third, being waved home is Butler. Brantley's throw to the plate is way offline. Runners will move up. Now to throw down to second base, and they got him. Pena tagged out, trying to slide into second. But the Royals get 2 in the ninth. And they now lead it 6-2. Beautiful afternoon on the waters here at the ball yard. Tribe down 6-2, bottom of the ninth inning. Last chance for the Wahoos coming up right here. It's going to be Chris Jimenez, Luis Valbuena, and Trevor Crow. Joakim Soria on now for Kansas City. Thanks to their offense, no longer a save situation for the big right-hander.
Well, you got to bring him in. He hasn't pitched in the series. Hasn't had an opportunity for a save, even though this is not an opportunity. It was before the ninth inning. He's going to come out and get some work in.
Jimenez 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Famous Dodgers scout Mike Brito originally signed Joakim Soria out of Mexico. But the Dodgers released him after he pitched in just 4 games in the Dominican Summer League. But then the real key in his career was when the Padres exposed him in the Rule 5 draft in December of 06, and the Kansas City Royals pounced. Swung on and missed. Soria strikes out Chris Jimenez, and now 5 straight Indians hitters have struck out in this game.
Well, you remember against Oakland in that one game, the last 8 outs were strikeouts by the Oakland A's staff.
Was that the game that the big guy pitched at the end?
Yes.
Was throwing 100 miles an hour?
Yeah. H-Rod.
Henry Rodriguez.
Yes, H-Rod. Hot Rod.
Call him Mr. Rodriguez. Valbuena. Base hit his last time up. Line down the left field line, but it goes foul. The other neat story about Joakim Soria was that just 2 days after the Royals selected him in that Rule 5 draft, he went out and pitched a perfect game in Winter Ball in the Mexican Pacific League. Struck out 9 and threw 101 pitches.
Yeah. Well, and when he was with San Diego, he was a starter. Kansas City's the one that made him a closer. They said they found their diamond in the rough, and boy, did they ever. He's only blown 2 saves. He has 28 consecutive saves, which is a franchise record.
There's that big overhand curveball at 68 miles an hour. That pitch that Soria throws, he says it floats. Vin Scully, the legendary broadcaster for the Dodgers, called it a soap bubble because it reminded him of when the kids would, blow through that little plastic wire, make a soap bubble. He said that's what it looked like to him.
Never gets there. Just keeps floating.
And then he's got that good fastball that he can throw by as well. 6 straight Indians hitters have struck out now in the game. And there are 2 down in the ninth. Joakim Soria will face Trevor Crow now with 2 down and the bases empty. Crow is 0 for 4 on the afternoon. Fastball, strike 1. And the other thing about Soria, he's another guy who had Tommy John surgery back in 2003. So that was really when he was just kind of starting out his career. He was very young. In fact, he was 19 years old. Missed outside with it. Struck him out looking, and the game is over. And the Royals pitchers combined to strike out the last 7 Indians hitters of the game. Incredible. And the final score today, Kansas City 6, Cleveland 2. The Royals avoid the sweep with a win here this afternoon. And Kansas City is now 55 and 75 on the year. Indians drop to 53 and 77. Losing pitcher today for the Tribe, Fausto Carmona. He drops to 11 and 13. The winner for Kansas City is Bruce Chen, who is now 9 and 7 on the year. Well, it's time now for our play of the game, brought to you by Key Bank. Switch to Key and get a free Sony Bloggy. Visit key.com/bloggy for details.
Well, it's going to come back in the 4th inning. Matt Laporta, the hitter, you see him take right there. Winston's in a little bit of pain. And the next time he pops out, goes to first base, ends up leaving that ball game. You see he's got a little pain in his hip. We don't know exactly what it is. We'll have to find out more. And it'll be day to day. So that is going to be our Key Bank key play of the game.
On Channel 3 for Indians baseball. Kansas City wins it by a final score of 6-2. Next on Channel 3, stay tuned for the U.S. Amateur Golf Championship. On Sports Time Ohio, stay tuned for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. For Rick Manning, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching.